All right, if you can hear any noises in the background, that's just something I can't control. There is a lot of, I guess, construction taking place nearby. Um, I originally planned on doing a political stream, but I changed my mind because the events of the last maybe 2, 3, 4, 5 days have been so ridiculous in terms of this one person, and I think the story is kind of interesting, and I'm also going to expand upon it after mentioning it. Yeah, Dio, you're first on the stream of a guy who usually has about 5 to 10 people watching them. Congratulations. You're part of the exclusive club. But anyways, this person, uh, about maybe a week ago, made a video about someone they used to be a fan of. Now, this person they used to be a fan of has over 100,000 subscribers, and roughly 6 to 7 years ago, possibly even longer back, they wrote a story where, just to give you a really condensed version of the plot, the main character or protagonist, whatever the hell, uh, has sex with an underage version of themselves. Now, this story is obviously glorification of child pornography. That's basically what the story is. It's an adult version of a character screwing a child version of themselves. And this user who has over 100,000 subscribers has decided to deny that they wrote this story. Yeah, it sounds like trash to me personally, but whatever. They've decided to deny that they wrote this story. So what happens is one of their fans made a video about them that's gotten a couple thousand views. And in this video, they not only read and summarize parts of the story, but they also have voice recordings, including various clips from this person's channel from several years back before they got into the mood of denying that they wrote this, where they show proof of the person admitting that they wrote the story. So they have this person's story where they write about an adult version of a character screwing a child version of the character, and they have recordings of this person admitting that they wrote this story, including videos of them showing the same story's screenshots. So they say its name and they show the same cover for it. So you would think this would be an open and shut case where, if now that the evidence has been presented, we have the person's, admitting it on tape, it's finished, right? Well, I went in the comment section of this video, and there were users who were questioning, and I guess I always know that there's some people who refuse to believe things even when there's proof of it, but I almost became somewhat disturbed, like I was in a horror film, a slasher movie, at just the absolute refusal of reality on the part of some of these people. You have one guy in the comment section, yeah, that was my same reaction deal, that little throw up emoji when I heard about the details of this tale. You had one person in the comment section who said to the person who made the video, "What are you getting out of this?" It's important to note that in the video, the person mentions how the user who wrote this gross story has a habit of refusing to watch any videos that criticize them, even if they are completely nice to them, if they don't insult them at all. Whoever hit the like button, thank you. Uh, they just completely refuse to watch anything that is remotely critical of them. And usually with me, it's if I think I'm going to get insulted, I don't watch it. So I do understand that to an extent. But this is important because after somebody responds to this person who says, "What are you getting out of this?" that same person who said that goes and says, "I can't wait for this person that you're claiming wrote this story to make a video where they destroy all the stuff you're saying in it." And the person who made the video was laughing to themselves because they know, based off of the way that this person reacts to when other people talk about them, they're not going to respond to that video. But forget the fact that the person who it's about won't respond to it. They literally have voice proof of this person admitting they wrote a story about, I guess, a child molester as the protagonist. And you still have fans, including that person who wrote that nonsense I just recapped for you, who want to believe they didn't do it. So they have voice evidence. They had the person admitting it with the screenshot of the story. I mean, holy hell! At this point, the only more proof you could have is I don't know, a video of the person typing on their computer. But I do find that amusing because it shows just how much people refuse to believe something if it's against a person they like. But it's also very scary because a lot of times, like when we were talking about the Me Too thing over here, much of it had to do with the fact that not only was it about stories that people were saying took place 10, 20, 30 years ago, but that in a lot of cases it was just someone is saying something about this other person, so believe them. In the case of this story, you have the person's own voice admitting that they wrote this. And their little stupid delusional fans don't want to believe it. And that's a really scary thing for me because I don't ever want to get to a point where I like someone's content or their videos or whatever the hell, and someone presents evidence of them doing something that I would find morally wrong. Like, let's say they killed an animal or, wrote some disgusting, gross story. If they have proof, video evidence of that person admitting they did it, I don't really know what else I can do. Now, if I deny that, does that really speak negatively of the people who are presenting the evidence or the person, being myself, who refuses to accept the evidence, who says, no, I like this person, so to hell with whatever proof you may have that they did this? No, that comment section was very scary to me. But unfortunately, I've seen a lot of people who do that, where you'll have celebrities who are deceased, so they can't defend themselves, admittedly, and somebody will write a book, saying, "Oh, I had an affair with this person," or "I did this with this person," and then their fans will basically tell you to go to hell because they don't want to accept the idea that the person they like or they look up to or whatever the hell might have done something that they themselves don't support. Now, there was another person in that comment section who wrote something to the effect of, matter of fact, let me just go over there and start paraphrasing it because I'm not going to play this. Like I won't say their name because I'm not trying to get involved in the drama relating to the situation, but I will read some of these comments. This website drives me crazy. Like, between the thing with the, just constantly being in the red in terms of subs, getting demonetized for no reason. I've had it to hear with YouTube as well. All these websites are just screwed up. This person says, no, they don't like the kids as well. I'm getting a feeling that it was written for shock value, not kinks. Or it could be that it was written for kinks, but they're not like that anymore. And that's why they call out pedophiles so often, because they know how pedos think, like how I was racist once and now I hate Nazis at a strong level. Either way, they're no longer proud of it. So let's say I stabbed somebody. I went up to someone and stabbed them. And I refuse to acknowledge the fact that I stabbed someone. I just pretend it didn't even happen. To where even though you have a recording of me stabbing someone, evidence of me confessing to it, I just refuse to acknowledge it happened. Would it matter if I was no longer proud of it? As in, does me no longer being proud of it erase the fact that I did it? It shouldn't. But this is what I was talking about when I said people who are fans of someone get to a point where they think they know that person, and they start to create these, what's a good way of saying it, parameters to like deflect and dodge any and all critique of them. So this person, again, won't even acknowledge that they wrote this disgusting story, but this other individual who likes them goes, oh well, you know, maybe they're not proud of it. Maybe they've changed their ways and now they're against stories that involve this. Like, but they still wrote it. But you see how they do that, where there's no evidence to support the idea that this person is ashamed of this story, because they won't acknowledge it. So you're going to create a situation where you explain away why they won't take ownership of what they wrote. The things fans do. But listen, the rest of this comment section, that first person I mentioned, the one that had the thing about I can't wait until they see this video and they dismantle it, even though they ignore and don't watch any videos critiquing them. They showed up about 5 or 6 more times. Like I don't know if they're a troll or not. If they are, I don't feel bad because I didn't respond to them. But somebody says in response to their comments about can't wait for this person to eviscerate this like they have to do all the other slander thrown at them. So someone else asked, what evidence do you have that this person is totally innocent aside from the assumption that the person who made the video is just another devious troll who's looking to silence a minority? And then in response, that clown from earlier says, what evidence you have that they're guilty? The damn evidence of their voice and that they wrote this story. And see, that's the lovely thing about like internet stuff, because I don't usually write things online for the most part. They frequently only speak to people in text. So there's all these different screenshots that people have collected of stuff they've said in their comment section, stuff they've said to just a whole assortment of people. But really, what I'm very curious as to what causes this type of behavior, because I've never been a fan of someone to such an extent that if you show me proof that they did something that I thought was, morally wrong, like write a story glorifying an adult molesting a child, that I would just go, oh no, they did this for this reason that was not as bad as you're trying to make it seem. Fans are really creepy. That's something I've come to realize, that a lot of people online, when they watch someone or they associate with the stuff that they do, whether that's make a video, art, whatever, they get these weird connections with them that try to transcend what they actually are, which is a viewer of something they're involved with. And they try to like make the person a bigger thing than they actually are. So even though this person has over 100,000 subs, if I were to say, based off the evidence presented here, that they're also a nasty bastard that writes stories about adults and children getting together, it would still be true. And it would be true because we have evidence of this person admitting that they did this. God, people online. I shouldn't even say people online, because I can name other instances where fans in the real world have acted crazy. But with this, it's really interesting because I've never seen somebody accused of something to where they have so much proof against them. Like just out of the internet people, the ones that are, I guess, not famous. Like I would say that, for example, Shane, I'm talking about, the one with the brown hair. He's probably a famous person on YouTube, but a person who has 100,000 subscribers and wrote this gross story that they acknowledged for quite some time, where we have multiple recordings of their voice admitting that they wrote this, now has these sycophants who refuse to believe any evidence that supports the fact that this person wrote this story. Because look, when that one guy was talking about, I can't wait until this person eviscerates this allegation, I thought, okay, well, that's just someone maybe just messing around, like they know that they're full of crap, but they're doing it anyway. Uh, but when I went and looked around to see their other comments, there was another comment where they were talking about how the artwork of the person who made the video, which has nothing to do with the fact that this nasty prick wrote this story, they're insulting that. So because they mentioned something that has nothing to do with what's being discussed, that's more telling of the fact that they're probably just trolling. But even then, that other person I know wasn't. You don't write 5, 6, 7 paragraphs trying to defend somebody if you're just messing around. That's part of the reason I don't even usually write comments on people's stuff anymore, because things get too ridiculous very, very quickly. But yeah, in a way, it does kind of mirror the chick thing a little bit. I don't like to usually drag these things together, but they do have similar connections where I show evidence of dumb things that broads do sometimes. What short story? That story was several chapters long. Um, I show evidence of some of the like ridiculous stuff that's happened with chicks a couple of times. Oh, okay, the 6 paragraphs. And you have people who will still try to tell you that you need to do this or that or whatever. Um, but the point of showing the screenshots is that it's a way of showing you my interactions with specific ones without revealing who they are. Like people have said, "Oh, why don't you turn on your phone and go to the mall and let's hear you approach a chick?" It's like, why would I go to the extent of having some device record a group of people who aren't willing participants in this little experiment of yours? It was the only practical way for me to give examples of what I was talking about. But again, you had people who, even with that, still refuse the evidence. Like, I'll never get over the fact that when I did the proof romance is a scam video, the whole purpose of that video was to exclusively show different ridiculous exchanges I had had with chicks that I could prove that I had evidence of by virtue of the screenshots. And you had people who still didn't want to believe that they act the way that they do. That they'll tell you on Monday, "Hey, I can't wait to speak to you and you can finally hear my voice." And then on Thursday, after you've said nothing to the detriment of your speaking with that person, "Oh, no, thank you. Let's never talk again." I think part of being a fan is being able to recognize if or when that person does things you don't like. So, for example, I watched David Pakman's videos, but when he was talking that trash about, "I can't stand it. I don't know why people are watching my show if they don't agree with me," I made a video. I didn't insult him, but I did, critique what he had said. And you can do something like that without hating the person or slandering them, because I played a clip of what he said. So that was the evidence of my claim of what he was stating, and then responded to the clip. Hell, I ended up canceling a video I was going to do on him about 2 weeks ago, praising him, because time started to pass and I didn't think it was relevant anymore. I might do another one on him, revisit him. It will be nicer than the other one. But you see what I'm saying? That if you support someone and you're not just this fanatic fan that doesn't want to accept that they have shortcomings or might say something you disagree with, it's a lot different from someone who objectionably looks at something and says, "I don't agree with this," or "I don't like this," or "This is not a good thing." And I guess maybe the biggest issue with this is that I don't expect, in the face of proof being shown, for someone to say, "Hey, I don't care that this person did this. You're a liar." And the fact that they actually did that on that video is just really disturbing. Like, it basically means no matter what proof you have of what you're saying, you will have some segment of people who still say you're lying. That's why I said the Me Too thing was dangerous, because even if you prove you didn't do it, or if it's been proven that the person was lying on you, your reputation is still destroyed. You know, all it takes is one person coming out and making a BS story up, and you know you're screwed. But in the case of this person, it was the complete opposite. They did this video, multiple videos actually, where they disparaged this bigger content creator, and throughout both videos, they showed a plethora of screenshots about this person's gross behavior, you know, summarizing that story. And it's like they did the complete opposite of what people did during Me Too, where they just come out and say something. And they still got the same response from some people. Oh, you're just making this up. You have no evidence. I don't know if you're blind like Stevie Wonder, but did you not see all the screenshots that they showed? Like, that's really scary that you can have all of that proof, and then someone, because they like another person more than you, says, to hell with your proof. I'm going to believe this person even if reality goes against what you're saying. Yeah, people online have really like, and you know, I guess I'm not surprised, because fans have always shown how horrible they are, whether it was the fan that shot John Lennon or the fan that stalked the chick from the first Friday the 13th. There's a whole bunch of just weird stuff that people who are supposedly someone's supporters have done. What I think is absolutely crazy is when you believe in someone so much that their word matters more than proof against what they're saying. And yeah, that's why these online personas are really dangerous, because the person who is, let's go way of saying it, uh, because other people have this same thing of having some supporters who believe them no matter what proof you show, you know it's not the fault of the person who's guilty of the thing they're being accused of, again, with proof that guarantees the fact that they did this, but that their supporters, because they watch their videos, feel like they have some kind of special, intimate connection with them, to where, I mean, if you read some of the stuff that people were writing, you would almost think everybody in the comment section was married to this person. I'll stay with you no matter what. Jesus Christ. And I'm actually really glad I used that exclamation, because the way this person was being referred to by their fans, you would think they're the second coming of Christ. I remember about 4 years ago, somebody made a video and they were like, they were mocking people who say Jesus is coming back, and like, Jesus is coming back just at an indefinite time. He's gonna come out the house and make no noise. How do we know he didn't come and leave already? That's what that reminded me of. Yeah, I don't know what it's like to have people who believe you over evidence, because usually it's me trying to prove what I'm saying versus someone trying to prove I did something against them. Because I remember when I was talking about the clown that did the video on me, uh, what ended up happening was they were trying to extrapolate things I didn't say from things I was saying. So when you accuse someone of being gay, but they don't admit that they deny that they're gay, you have no videos of them holding hands or making out with members of the same sex. It's pretty much just you accusing them of something with no proof. So you try to take things that don't actually confirm what you're claiming and say, oh, this must be true because I feel this way about this clip. But in the case of the video, you have someone who shows proof of the person saying one thing, uh, and then they say, "Hey, they said this, so they wrote this." Like, it's two different things where they actually have proof of the person saying they did this act that you're accusing them of. Whereas with the video on me, it was just, well, I don't like this person, so let me try to pull a bunch of clips of theirs and form a. I even said that video was a highlight reel. I've never seen a commentary video where the majority of it was the person that is being commented on speaking. It's usually you play some clips of that person, but then it's you doing most of the talking. Like I've never seen somebody screw that up before. That was pretty incredible. Yeah, Dio completely dominated the live chat. I like how Urban World came back just to write 2 comments and vanish. I'm gonna call him the Pink Ghost from now on. It's gonna be his new nickname. Where they show up and they're like, let me make my little cameo, and then they jump off. Thanos had more screen time in the first Avengers movie than the Pink Ghost had in my stream. No, I don't understand why people do that. I remember there was this one chick, she had about 3,000 or it was like 4,000, 5,000 subscribers. And she came on one of my streams and said hello. And I remember I was so shocked because I hadn't seen a recognizable content creator show up my stuff ever before. And then right after she wrote that comment, she just vanished. They love doing that where they show up and then they just are nowhere to be seen after that. So let me write my 1 comment, and then what's the use instant transmission, teleport out of there. Told you I'm so done with YouTube. Like this website, again, I think it's the least offensive out of all of them. Like out of all the current ones that people use on when I still use. But I just hate how it fosters a lot of the same problems I have on other websites. Like I can't think of another site where somebody makes a video, because most sites don't let you make videos and share them at any length. Like I know sometimes on Twitter you can put up a little clip, and then you get what I'm saying, that most other sites aren't really known for being places you share videos, rather you just type stuff. And it really drives me crazy that you can have a person show proof of something, but because someone likes another person so much, they're like, to hell with you. And remember, this isn't a screenshot, that somebody could have, I guess, edited. This is the person's voice. So unless they got some, I don't know, sound-alike actor, like, how do you get to a point where you love someone so much that your decision is to just say, hey, I know you have all this proof that this person did this evidence, but I don't care. And it's probably all BS, even though you can prove that it's not. We have the guy, I don't know what to call him. We have the person admitting that they don't want to, that they wrote this story and that they didn't want to recap it because they wrote it. And you're like, no, that's nothing. They wrote another story with that same name, huh? I did have like a person who was kind of similar to that come on one of my videos a few months back, where when I did the jank video, the one with talking about how he had this theory about why Joe Rogan wouldn't let him on the show again. He had mentioned in the clip I played that he had these other people on multiple times, and I conceded the fact that that was true, that these other people that Cenk mentioned had been on the show repeatedly, more than once, whereas Cenk had only been on there once. And I had some clown who came in the comment section and was like, you completely missed the point. You conceded that Cenk. And it's like, dude, I'm all the episodes are publicly available. So if Jank made a claim about certain people and he named 3 people showing up multiple times, and you go onto the Experiences channel, as it's called, and type in the names of those people and they all come up multiple times, then it's true. If I say I'm so sick of not being on Joe Rogan's podcast, but then Dio's been on there, multiple times, and you type in Dio's name, and there's 3 episodes with Dio Brando as the guest, then it's true, whether you like that person or not. That's why I said that there's a big contingent of people who like someone so damn much that they refuse to accept even just like basic concessions of what actually happened. Like I remember when we had the last presidential election, um, and people can look this up. They don't believe me, which is what is so disturbing. That all of the stuff I say you can look up. Uh, Trump at one point mentioned wanting to ban Muslims or proposing a Muslim ban, and I was talking to this person on Twitter, and I had mentioned this is one of the reasons I didn't support him, and they were like, he didn't do that. And I said, it's a really sad day when you not only have news articles confirming this person did this, but them, recorded saying this for like proposing this. And I was like, I'm not talking to that person anymore. I don't talk to people who deny reality. Like I don't ever want to get to a point where someone likes me so much that you have me on video saying something. They're like, no, it didn't happen. But I tell you, that's just what people do now, where even when you have proof, they're like, nope. This is all hocus pocus. I remember there was a senator who got mad because somebody played a clip of him saying the opposite thing. And this guy did a video about him. He was like, did they CGI you in there? Like, I'm just imagining they cut him out from some other video and they stick him on, the background and have someone say something in a voice that sounds like his. Like, it's just this big coordinated campaign to make him look bad. To where they hired the special effects guy to make him look as if he's actually on that show. Yeah, there aren't too many people online that I like so much that if you show me proof of something they did, I'll just say, no, that couldn't have happened. Again, because I'm not a fanatic. I like people. Some people make videos I think are enjoyable. But enjoyable videos does not mean they're innocent of any wrongdoing. People online are they find a way to jump around things. But really, the chick thing's even more disturbing because that's not even about liking someone's content so much to where you just don't want to accept that they could ever do something wrong. It's literally this person has this particular pair of genitals or this set of genitals, so I'm going to refuse any and all critiques of this person or these people. All of it goes back to that thing of I want to accept the reality that is being challenged in terms of whether it's true or not. So instead of accepting that there's a possibility, a very provable one, that what I like or believe in is not true, I'm going to just accuse people who have proof of lying. They made it all up. There's too many demigods on here. I mean, it's kind of similar to when I do a video because a lot of times the people that show up on those will try to like say something that has nothing. I remember when I did the Frieza's overused video, I had some guy who came on there and was like, people also want Goku and Vegeta to be out of the show too. I'm like, what does that have to do with what I'm talking about? That's another thing I hate when you do a video on one thing and then somebody mentions something that has nothing to do with it. So like they're trying to use your video for an opinion you didn't espouse, which happens a lot with the romance stuff too, where like you'll say, and this is why I did the streams where I was like, "Oh, I'm evil," because you'll do a stream or a video and you'll talk about being tired of chicks or something like that, and you don't mention anything about violence. You don't mention anything about bothering them. You just say, "I'm just tired of this." People go, "Oh my God, he's plotting to attack one of them," and you're just sitting there like, "What?" But it's that same thing of you say one thing and then it gets taken to mean something else. That's why whenever I do a lot of the stuff relating that's like primarily focused on the romance stuff, I have to script it because I've realized from a lot of the from just some of the commentary on it, you have people who will take maybe like a vague state, because when you're doing a stream, a lot of times you don't have a script, so it's all off the cuff. They'll take some statement you made, whether it's small or long, whatever the hell, and they'll try to use it to infer something you didn't intend for it to specify on or just to relate to. Yeah, this has been the year of just. I mean, I guess maybe I didn't know which year on YouTube was worse. I thought it was last year because I had like 50 people sub to me and then unsub, like you subscribe just to unsub over that last that primary campaign. But I probably would say this year's a little bit worse because I got demonetized out of nowhere. We've got child predator with 100,000 subs, and we have proof that they're that, and people don't want to believe it. So I probably would say this year's worse. It's like a toss up with pick your poison basically. That is actually kind of funny that YouTube would rather monetize a child predator than it would me. It's like you're worse than the person who is writing fanfics about them, about their character screwing a kid version of themselves. I'll tell you this website. That reminds me. There's actually a woman who has a channel where she has. I'm not going to say it. A certain number of children that she cannot take care of. It's over 7, so you can infer what the number is. It's some number over 7. And I'm watching this channel. This woman can barely speak English. I'm not saying that to be mean, but she has these pauses, her head's tilted like this. Just sounds to be very dumb. Like you can watch her speak and tell she doesn't know what she's talking about, or at least is not trying to make any kind of points about anything. That's one of the things I hate about this website, that they let people who've never accomplished anything just make bodily function seem like there's some great, amazing thing. Oh my God, I have 18 children and I can't take care of any of them, but look how cute they are on camera. But anyway, she has all these kids, can barely speak, and she has ads playing all over. And I'm just sitting here like, they would rather monetize a dingbat that sits in front of a camera who's only popular or known because of how many times she opened her legs than a guy who scripts his stuff, who tries to make points about, various, like, I'm mystified. They support Ethan Klein. Oh yeah, I've heard about that from Augie. Now, Dio, I bet if we went over to your channel, we go in your subscriptions, we see H3 Productions right in there. Oh, Dio, remember the magic romance year where you meet this chick that is like so amazing and wonderful and makes all the attempts to get with someone just be erased. That's what H3 is. Look, I don't care what anybody says. Even if I had a partner, she would not show up on my stuff because I've watched a lot of those different channels where it's the husband and the wife commenting on things, and it's usually the husband that is giving all the interesting uh, commentary, and then the wife just goes, yeah, yeah, oh yeah, 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 yeah. Like you could tell that not her specifically, but you could tell they're only there because if they're not there, the I guess guys may have to sleep on the couch or something at night. He needs his wife approval for everything. Yeah, can I please do a podcast? Only if I get to co-star with you. No, I don't want to co-star with any damn body. Only person I ever did a video with was my best friend, and he only showed up one time. The other 2,000 different times I've done a video was always just me by myself, as it should be. This is the Justin channel, not Justin and his amazing friends. He needs his wife approval for everything. Can I please do a video today? Only if I get to make a cameo. Like they're so connected at the hip that on Wikipedia they have the same page. Like that's a pretty rare thing to have two people have one page as you know what I'm talking about. Like there's a group like the Beatles, for example, all the members have their own article. They have the same page. Like even Wikipedia acknowledges them as just being one person, basically. Like like conjoined couple or whatever. Oh my god. Now, every time somebody gets a girlfriend or a wife or whatever the hell, and they're like a big or a person that has like a moderate sized channel, it just everything turns in them. Like there was this one guy I used to watch, and I was actually thinking of doing a video about this, but I changed them. I still maybe might. I don't know. He used to make these. I'm trying to not put out his like reveal who he is because I don't like to badmouth people that I used to have some affinity for. But he would make these videos where it was like a cartoon almost, kind of similar to my show in a way where you edit it and do all the different recordings and whatnot. And I really liked the stuff, and I subscribed to him, and then his stuff started coming out a little less often, but I was still subscribed to him. And then all of a sudden he starts doing these streams with this chick, and I don't know if it's his girlfriend, his sister, whatever. But like every time he put up a new video, it was always him and this chick streaming. I was like, what the hell is this? Get back to like do the and of course I don't say anything because I'm not, trying to tell somebody how to run their own stuff. But it was like I subscribed specifically for this particular kind of content you did for years. And now everything is always you and this broad sitting at this table. And then one day they did a stream where they announced that she was pregnant with his kid, and I was like, yeah, goodbye. I don't need to hear about how you forgot to wear a condom last week. I'm cool. But you see how I'm saying that like every time one of these guys gets some broad, all their stuff just turns on them, and that shit. Oh my god. This website like I'll tell you that's how you know men are so are just so long for just these big extraneous periods denied a relationship. Yeah, but you love it. That guy was not a relationship channel. He made videos that required him to write a script, to edit, to put all the stuff together. And then out of nowhere, his whole channel just turns into him and his chick sitting at a desk. For like a whole year I put up with that. I was just like, okay, this again. This again. This again. I'm saying that a lot of times when people don't have relationship channels, but when they have a significant other, they try to like start morphing into one of those. Like H3H3 is basically just a relationship channel that's a podcast. That's really insane. What a huge shame and waste. Megumi, imagine if I made just nothing but Dragon Ball videos for maybe 10, 11 years, right? I do reviews of all the arcs. I talk about all the different characters. Got hundreds of videos like that, right? And then one day, instead of doing one of those, I do a stream where it's me and some woman talking. And this goes on for a year. And then I do a stream like, oh, guys, everybody, I'm going to have a baby. And then you're like, what the hell? How did we go from discussing this show or this series or whatever to now everything is just just me and this dingbat sitting at this chair? But you know what it was? He got lazy when he got around the broad. He stopped doing the thing that actually required effort. I used to be subscribed to a channel that did the same thing as well. Oh, hell. No, Megumi, we were talking earlier. I was discussing this person who has over 100,000 subscribers, and they wrote a gross. Did he get no? Like this? I've never seen somebody have 1 million subs and they can't even get 100 people to watch the stream. So either those subs were dead, or they were like, "Nah, we're not about to watch you try to get laid tonight." Megumi, we were discussing a person who has over 100,000 subscribers, and about 5 to 10 years ago, they wrote a story about a character molesting a kid version of themselves. And this person who like a disgruntled supporter of theirs made this video, and they showed proof, like voice recordings of the person who wrote this nasty story admitting they wrote it. And their fans are so damn delusional that they refuse to accept the reality of the fact that this person wrote this story. So they're like making stuff up. They're like, well, maybe they wrote it because they were trying to be edgy. And then somebody else like, oh, well, what proof do you have that they wrote it? Like, idiot, did you even see the video? They have the person's voice. Like, that's them. Relationship prank channels are the worst. Yeah, I just think channels get less interesting the more people you get involved with it. Like, imagine if I go from doing stuff each day of the week to then it's me 6 days and then like some friend of mine 1 day of the week. Like, it'd be weird. You didn't subscribe for him. You subbed for me. They're very closed-minded and denying the proof point blank in their faces. It's scary. Like, Megumi, I've never seen this much proof against someone, at least out of like a non-famous person before. They have screenshots of them saying gross stuff. They have their voice, videos, like clips from the person's own videos admitting they wrote this story. And their subscribers don't want to believe it. The ones that comment on that video, they're like, oh, this is all fake. Ugh. Like if Me Too had that much evidence when they were accusing all the men, I would be the biggest Me Too person ever. Like I would have a believe all woman heart on my chest because they would have proof. It wouldn't be just someone saying something. They actually would have evidence, supporting their position. If all those different allegations that people threw around 2 years ago had that much proof, your voice recorded, screenshots of you being gross, oh, I would have been on their side 110%. But because these people love this one YouTuber so damn much, like, no, this didn't happen. I don't care if you have their voice admitting this. Oh, Megumi, did you see the Goku Black video? I don't know if you liked it, enjoyed it, hated it, despised it. No, every time I go on someone's stuff now, it just seems like more and more people are trying to like stick a whole bunch of other individuals in there. There was this one guy I watched for, I think, 4 years, and then all of a sudden he started having his friend. Now his friend actually was important because he was the one who convinced him to do YouTube videos in the first place. But his friend started making videos that were separate from him, and I'm like, what is this? You know, like to where it was just a weekly thing. Like we were getting more of his friend than of him. I was like, this is nuts. The proof portrays the people. Oh, it's AJ Envoy dropping rhymes. He tried to get my attention 7 times. I know that sounds like a lot. 3 of those times were on streams. Feels real bad that he got caught. Might do it again. Probably not. He's not here to make defenses. He's here to redeem his offenses. He broke the record of attempts to get my attention. I remember I had this one guy, he comments on one of my videos, he said the N-word, and I just ignored him. Like I just, because a lot of people, most trolls will just come for one day, write one thing stupid, and that's it. Like two or 3 days later, he wrote the same thing. I was like, yeah, goodbye. So he made 2 attempts. Envoy made 7. Up until about 5 years ago, there were more Envoy attempts to get my attention than Star Wars movies. It's really impressive. I mean, I guess if you count the Clone Wars film, then that would be 7. It would be tied, but out of the supposed like main ones, main trilogies. That's another group of really ridiculous people. Megumi, if you ever want to see some fans act like just true villains, go look at the Star Wars fans. Like it's not all of them, obviously, but you had the one who, the ones rather who were so upset with Jar Jar that the actor who played him wanted to kill himself because they were harassing him so damn much. I mean, it's just a really nasty. Like I didn't like any of those sequel trilogy films, and I didn't write a single word to the director, to the cast, to the makeup artist, to the special effects, because you know it's not their burden to bear that I didn't like this film. I don't need to go and harass them on social media. I searched for Goku Black till Tox. I don't know what Dio is referring to. I did also watch back your stream you did a couple days ago, which you made a lot of great points into. Oh, thanks. Oh, Goku Black was on TikTok. He was enacting his Zero Mortals plan on there. Hell, if Trump gets his way, we're gonna have a zero TikTok plan in the U.S. Fans are too delusional for my taste. They get caught up into really thinking they know somebody. And I'm about to do this to Envoy. He's gonna get really mad at me, but I don't care. You wrote about 2 weeks ago that you considered us online friends. Don't take this the wrong way, but for the majority of people that watch my stuff, I will always only be a person on a screen that you can click off, you can block, you can disable, whatever the hell. Whenever you start to consider, because that's how this whole thing started, where people that are refusing to believe that guy wrote that nasty story, or excuse me, that person wrote. I'm gonna just keep switching between he and she to trick people up. People who believe that that person did not write that story, despite all of the evidence that supports the fact that they did, watch their stuff so much that they feel like they have some kind of, like they know them, like they have some connection with them. Just because you watch somebody for years doesn't make them your damn friend. There's one guy in here I watched for 10 years, and me and him are friends. The actress who played Ray confirmed they had no plan. Oh, yeah, that's not a surprise. By the way, don't talk about her on here. We don't need to hear about her round face and fat neck. It's really sad because like they made her look so ugly in that film for no reason. that was her appearance in that movie. Oh, by the way, I can't wait till somebody clips that and says he insulted the way she looked. Like, you know how many people have insulted me on here? I got a whole collection of messages across all the different romance stuff. You are ugly. I don't like your appearance. So I don't need to hear about how I need to be respectful of someone else's looks, because on here, to say that people weren't respectful of the way I looked and the way I spoke and the way I depicted myself would be an understatement. I mean, I got verbally slaughtered in my comment section. It just didn't affect me because I'm not ashamed of who I am. It's just pretty nuts when someone is so refusing to accept that there could ever be any faults with chicks that they try to like make you seem. That's why I made the streams titles the way they were. You're a demon. Well, I don't usually critique their appearances generally when I do a romance video. It's always talking about the way they act and behave. But you know, it was all an assailant where you said something I don't like about these broads. So you're ugly. You are too nerdy. All this trash that they just blurted out to feel better about, or to explain away a situation where I had legitimate grievances over the response I was getting. So I said, the hell with this website. That's why most of the time somebody writes something to my video, I don't even respond. Like the only time you'll see a response from me is when I heart somebody's comment. But to those ones I've never seen before, they get nothing except plain silence on my part. No, Megumi, people on here love to like refuse to accept points you're making. Like I did a stream one time where I was talking about this guy who owned his own business. He was like his early 30s, right? And he had this broad who came from my state to come live with him in I don't want to say what state he was in, but it's not California. She came from California, but they moved somewhere else. Or she moved to him, and he lives in another state. And she didn't have to work, had a sickle cell, which made him quit his job to go work for Uber so he could take her to the hospital whenever she wanted or needed to be there. And in response to his charitability, because he didn't make her work and he went out of his way to accommodate her and her, damn illness, she takes a guy on Instagram and calls him her man crush Monday, and basically cheats on him over the computer. And I was pointing out how, when something like that happens to a person you have a high opinion of, that you saw go out of their way to accommodate the woman, why would you believe that you're going to get a better result? Because remember, this person had on their own place, business, car, all the different stuff that these clowns say you need to get with the broad, and he still got screwed. But I had a clown who was like, "You're not him, though." It's like, that's not the damn point, idiot. But I told you that they love to play that game where they act so confused and don't come to the conclusion you're trying to lead them to. Because it's a really simple premise. You're just saying that if this person has more than you, and they end up in the, he at least got to date the woman. I don't, I just get turned down over and over. But even though basically that pokes a hole in this idea of this magic woman that's going to come around and sweep you off your feet or whatever, because that's what she literally depicted herself as. And once they started living together, she morphed on him. She was a chameleon. No, not the Spider-Man villain, but she had the same power. She was shifting and changing colors and whatnot. I want surprised to hear about that company who are asking to travel. No, I didn't apply to them. What happened was one of the other uh, members of their branch that's much closer to me sent my application to them, so that I had to spend, and the guy didn't go because it cost too damn much. Uh, Approximately $138 to go to the interview and come back from it. And I just thought that was a big waste of time and money. So I said to hell with it. Yeah, 55 miles to go for an interview that you're probably that that costs too damn much to go to and probably won't mean anything in the long run anyway. Most people really just don't want to accept the fact how you can still get screwed over regardless of if you had those materialistic things they claim you need to possess. Well, it was 69 to go there, so it'd probably be 69 to come back as well. And remember, that was at minimum. So if I used like Uber X or some other higher version, that it would be even worse. No, they don't want to accept that you can have certain things that people claim you need and then still get screwed over. Like you have people who would use the me not living alone as like some kind of crutch, as if no one who's ever lived with other people has gotten in a relationship. And then I told you with I always really like that. I don't like that happened to that guy, but I like referencing that story because he again was in his early 30s, and I had the Triple L and some other idiots who tried to say that once you get to be this age or that age, you'll suddenly not. I firmly believe you will not think this way, and it's like, thing that even if I didn't, all of this stuff still happened. But see, what happened with him was proof that just because you're 10 years older, you don't just magically stop believing this stuff because you have no reason to not believe it anymore. It still happened. If I get stabbed when I'm 18 and think that people are snakes because this person stabbed me out of nowhere, just because a few years pass, I'm not going to suddenly go, well, maybe I need to reevaluate my view on this, even though people have not done anything to make me believe otherwise. It doesn't matter if it's 2020 or 2120. All the stuff I said here will still be true. It all still happened. Just because the calendar year changed doesn't mean the proof does. And Megumi, if you look at a picture of Albert Einstein in 1940, and then your great-great-grandson looks at a picture of him in 2040, and it's the same one, is that now suddenly not Albert Einstein? Is that like another person? Like, I've never seen a group of people before the chick stuff who tried to tell you that, like, because time passes, things automatically will improve. Just like it's been over a year since the dingbat with the baby had the kid. So in the year she went from not having enough to take care of it, having an antagonistic relationship with people for no reason. No, let's not even be that complicated. Let's just say she went from not having enough to take care of it by herself to still not having enough to take care of it by herself. That's because just because a year has passed, the situation hasn't changed because she made no effort to make it any different. Remember, you need to do more things to get a license than to have a kid. I mean, that's what's disturbing to me. Hell, you need to do more to be able to get a job than to have a kid. Because remember, you need like a worker's permit or otherwise like a form of ID. But with a kid, all you need is just to open your legs and have a willing partner. Hell, you actually don't even need a willing penis because there was a story about a chick who raped a man by like sticking a knife to him unless he had sex with her. I'd never heard of that until going online and looking at it. I was like, wow, the tables have turned. No, there is something serious. She peed on him too. I think Dio's talking about a separate story than what I'm referring to. I just know that when I saw what that chick looked like, I just thought to myself, even though I don't find her attractive, I know there is some clown out there. Because like a lot of these broads aren't amazingly beautiful. I wish people would stop. Because another thing, Megumi, that they like to do is they say that you're like, you remember the out of your league trash. Even though I've never posted any, and I have no intention to ever do this, post any of these chicks' pictures ever. It's like, oh yeah, all 90 plus chicks that you spoke to online or in person, all were just so amazingly wonderful looking. I remember there was one broad who I used to like. If you were ever say I was obsessed with one of them, it probably was her. But I showed her picture to a colleague of mine, and he was like, "I don't get it." So again, beauty's in the eye of the beholder. Just because you think someone's amazingly attractive doesn't mean somebody else will. That's nuts. Overvaluing chicks than there actually are. Yeah, they make every broad on here seem like these amazing, divine, like, oh my, oh, and then Megumi, remember, if you can't get with a woman, that's because you're a creep or you're this or you're like, I can't wait to do that video on those like more, what's a good way of saying it? Like they try to use chicks as a way to like evaluate you morally. Like if you don't have a girlfriend or a wife, that means that you're like a bad person, like objectively speaking. And then it's funny because there are a whole bunch of serial killers that were married. Um, and I was going to do a whole video about that. One of the first times I ever got into a big internet scandal was when this one serial killer died about 7 years ago. I did a video like all happy or whatever because he had killed a whole bunch of people in my state, like 10 people or whatever. And then his groupies came on there talking about you deserve to die. But again, if murderers and all these different other creeps can get abroad, it clearly isn't something that signifies if a person is good or not. Hell, Hitler had a girlfriend and then a wife, for like the last 48 hours of his life. But the point is, all the different supposedly evil people all had no problem getting broads. No, I would love. I'm definitely doing that video. And we're gonna start it off by saying that they try to use this as a way to know if you're good or not. And we're gonna have all the different screenshots and examples and whatnot. That too. Yeah, he had a whole group of chicks. If you saw the videos of that trial, they look like they were hypnotized. Like he told them to wear this, they wore that. Told them to sing a song, they did that. Now they have really turned getting a relationship into just this arduous quest. Like this one guy said, it would be easier to sneeze with your eyes open than to get a chick at this point. I remember I had this one clown who used to like get so mad when I would do the relationship stuff where I had to eventually end up getting rid of him. And he was like, you should talk to your friends who don't have trouble with getting a chick. I was like, I would if I could, but it was also a false equivalency because I didn't meet any of those people through having problems with chicks. Like me and my best friend met when I was in second grade. He was in first grade, and we went to different schools after I was in seventh grade. And even though we went to these different schools, and he didn't, I guess, go on any of these dating websites, or at least not the same ones I did, because he used Tinder a lot more than I did. We still both coincidentally ended up having the same problem with chicks. But again, that's different from what that person assumes. Oh, they just met through having no. It was all the. It's just so damn many of us have this problem that we just all were like, oh yeah, they pissed me off too. Told you, I'm so done with the internet. Like people on here go out of their way to make you feel like you're a villain, to smear you. It's so weird. And like I said, most of it has to do with the romance stuff. Because when I did the different, it was like 1,000 political videos. The most people would say is like some comments about my intelligence. They wouldn't try to say you're, uh, you know, gonna blow up a building or shoot up someone. Like no one did any of that until the chick stuff came up. Envoy says, face it, only men have shortcomings when it comes to dating in modern day relationships. Women are gods that we need to get on our ground and kiss the boots of. Yeah, and remember, the most I ever did to any of these people is say something they don't like. I didn't rape any, I didn't hit any of them, but I'm the true antagonist. Hell, I just said I was gonna leave them alone. Remember with Triple L that you're edging toward extremism by just not bothering people. Like that was nuts. You're just like the people who do the exact opposite of what you're doing. I told you that, like, you notice I never put any of those romance groups as like stuff in my titles ever because I don't want to be affiliated with them. And I've never seen a group who owned a monopoly on an opinion. Like, imagine if Megumi, you said you don't like, I don't know, Jiren, just as an example, and I say, well, that means Megumi's on Team Vegeta. And you're like, what the hell is Team Vegeta? And you're like, well, it's a group of people who like Vegeta, but they don't like that, Jiren got to, be closer to winning the tournament than Vegeta. It's like, well, I just don't like Jiren. What does that have to do with being part of Team Vegeta? Because they also don't like Jiren, and because they don't like him, then you must be part of that same. Like, it's weird. Like, just say you're tired of chicks, or you think they do dumb things, and now you're part of someone's team. The romance crew coming through, doing anything, annoying me so damn much I gotta sing. Yeah, but they look. It's one thing to assume someone might be part of a group. It's another to lump them in. Like I typed my name in one day on Google with one of those romance groups names. I was like, why the hell am I on this form? I don't even like, like I'm done. I'm done. I've never seen a group of people who are like, this person is sick of this as well, even though he never said he was part of our team. We own him, we claim him. No, it's like someone calling you a Christian because you say you believe in God. You could be Muslim. Well, they believe in Allah, but that's still God anyway. That's like me eating kugel and then somebody accuses me of being Jewish. Or if I one day just decide to read the Torah, I'm now part of the. I'm now practicing Judaism. Like it's only with the chicks stuff, and you know what it is, right? When they want you to be part of that group because they assume that everybody in that group is just mad that they don't get screwed, even if you say you are upset because you wanted to, you know, have a connection with someone, get married, have children, all this stuff that requires more than just laying in bed. So when they can say you're part of that group, they can now accuse you of just wanting to get screwed, even if your issue with members of this group has a larger and more thorough purpose than what the rest of them want, or at least what the people who they consider to be part of that group want. It is wrong to be your own thing nowadays. Yeah, that's why I said my team is me. Like, remember the guy that shot up the school in Isla Vista or whatever? They try to accuse you of being part of the, because there are some members of those groups that like idolize that person, and I don't want to be affiliated with people that do that because I don't support violence. But again, because you are critical of chicks at all, you know, you must be part of the team. Oh, I don't even tweet anymore. And then when I did tweet, I didn't tweet about Star Wars. Yeah, I try to leave their fans alone. There's too much nonsense. I told you, Megumi, I've never seen someone who preached nonviolence get told they're going to commit mass violence. Like, what the hell? We have no proof you've ever put your hands in any damn body, but you must be part of you must be plotting some evil act of wickedness. Crazy diehard fans. I thought you were about to say crazy OnlyFans. Like Die Hard, the franchise has a OnlyFans. They post all kind of naked pictures of the actors. Like I said, I'm done with even trying to talk to people about this stuff anymore. Only skanks. No, that's only smarts because those skanks use the way they look to con some guys out of some hefty dollars. I know I saw one chick on there charging $30 a month. I was like, her naked body doesn't look any more unique than any other naked chicks you could see for free online. Like that's nuts. It is a porn. It's a softer porn website. Like New Line Cinema needs to get on there and just start posting all those different slasher films. Like make a compilation video of all the sex scenes. I just never thought I'd see a day where people would still be willing to like. This is my thing. You can see naked chicks on like online so easily, and people would rather would like still pay for it. Imagine if I made a website where I charged you $30 to look at some trees. You just go on Google and type it in. It's for GFE and it's sad. I don't know what GFE is. That's Dio speaking in riddles. Oh, they're trying to get points. Who is this? Spaced pirate. Hey, what's your bounty, space pirate? Watch him not get that reference. Also, if your avatar doesn't have an eye patch, I'm banning you because you're not authentic to your name. If you don't have a hook for a hand, I'm getting rid of you. If you don't walk the plank at night, I'm getting rid of you. What's some other pirate stereotype? If you don't have a parrot on your on your shoulder, I'm getting rid of you. It is more specific. All right, that qualifies. Wait, did you eat a devil fruit? Because I don't want to talk to a pirate that can't swim. It's more specific, but at the same time, no way I'd pay just to see some nude pictures that can be found for free from other chicks. Yeah, and like pictures don't even do anything for me because you're not interacting with it. It's just a photo of a naked broad that thousands of other people have seen. Well, whatever. Same goes for other porn as well. I mean, I just don't get the appeal. Like, I don't see the point of paying to watch other people screw. I just think it's stupid. Hey, but remember, I'm not the one that's getting scammed out of $30 a month to look at somebody's picture. So I guess I'm safe. Or I guess my preferences are not causing me economic. But think about that: $30 a month to see something that you could see for free. And they're like, "Oh, but you get to speak to the person who puts up the pictures." Yeah, let me guess. She tells you about how much she likes you, and then you remember that there's another 50 guys she's telling that same crap to. Like I did almost consider like subscribing to one of those things just as a social experiment to see to see what the reaction is. Who was paying to get a naked Bella Thorne pic? I mean, I don't think she looks any like substantially better than any other woman, so I wouldn't be surprised because everybody's got their own little preference person that they just want to get with or do something with. So I wouldn't be shocked if someone was getting that, was trying to acquire that. Charging like 200 for one pic. Yeah. Now look, whether I was naked or fully clothed, if I charged $200 for a picture of me, you would look at me as if I was insane. But because a woman does it, people will actually go and buy it. So I don't even think I could make something that people would pay 200 for, let alone pose for a stupid picture. Told you live in the twilight zone. No, because it has a clit, we'll flock to it. like Pidgey. Hey, Envoy saw One Piece. What's the name of that green haired chick with the wings? Monet. That's what they're doing. I heard they were going to be in black and white. Yeah, I don't know why people still take pictures without color. I don't like the whole point of color was that we didn't have it readily until about maybe in like the last 20 years. Because there's still stuff in the 90s that was printed in like newspapers and other places that was black and white. So it just seems really it's kind of like if I went out of my way to have a crappier quality camera. It's like the whole point of advancements in technology is so you can have certain things you couldn't have just even a few years ago. And they're like, nah, I want to have no color. That's nuts. No, that she has wings, right? That's what they're doing. They're flocking to these pictures. They're like this. I have seen landscape pictures that were much better than without color. I mean, I guess. Well, I mean, since you were out in the Navy and you probably got sick of color because you got kept having to look at that blue sea. So man, just give me some variety. Oh, Maguma, you probably didn't notice this, but on that stream I did on on Saturday, some guy I've never seen before, and this often happens when I do a stream for a while, came on there and said, "How old are you?" And then one of my other Bader, one of the my other subs, he said that I was 7, and then he asked, "How? What was the other stupid question? Do you have a girlfriend?" And I'm like, what? What always gets me about that stuff is where is another man benefited from knowing that? But I would also think it would be fairly obvious that I didn't have one. It was actually even more comedic because I had answered the first question of my age earlier in that same stream, but because people are so lazy and they don't want to, sit through anything, he just was like, "Oh, let me ask this person directly," even though they already said it earlier. Yeah, he was trying to scoop me up. I already told you about that one clown that was asking about my penis on another stream. I was like, these, it's always another man that's like inquiring. It's so weird. That's why I said something like either there's a whole bunch of homosexuals that I didn't know about, or people just like I don't know what's wrong with them. Yeah, I did a stream where somebody was like, "Are you a virgin?" And then after asking that, I'm just like, really? Does this have anything to do with this stream? Like, how do you go from asking me about World of Warcraft to like fantasizing about whether my private parts have been in a woman before? Like, it's so weird. So I said, people online are clowns. I have not once. I'll just put it like this: I've watched a lot of different people's videos and thousands of comments. I have never at any point when reading a comment by anyone on my crap or on someone else's channel thought about that person's private parts. It just it doesn't cross my mind because I don't care. The stupidity continues. I told you I live in the Twilight Zone, where you've got straight men asking more about my dick than a broad. That's nuts. It's like, please tell me about your genitals. So I said, people on here are so strange. Like, I'm really glad I've just been able to kind of laugh it off. But a lot of what people do on here shows you how creepy they are. Always a guy asking those kind of invasive questions. Yeah, but again, it's like what do you get out of knowing if I've been screwed or not? Is there a reward? Is there a pot of gold sitting on your computer if you know this answer? Again, it's just like weird. Imagine I answered this question after he asked it, and someone gives him like a trip to a free cruise or something to the Caribbean. He's gonna get some tickets to a resort. They're gonna give him some gold doubloons if he knows where my private parts have been. I should have said that too. That next person that asks about my junk, I'll fax you my private parts itinerary everywhere it's been. Like it was over at the mall last week. or should I say last year, because nobody can even go to the damn mall anymore without having to wear one of those awful masks. So I didn't say, well, first of all, it's Las Vegas, Nevada, where it's legal to get with a prostitute. But also, I never said I'd even gone over there. I was just saying that if all I wanted out of a chick was getting screwed, I can just go to the state right next to mine to do it legally. It's kind of like if someone said, I only, like if, let's get an example. Let's say I was from a state that was right next to Colorado, and someone accused me of only coming to California because I was trying to smoke pot legally. I would just go to Colorado. That was the first place that legalized it. Just travel next to it or travel to it. I'm right there. So yeah, there's a whole bunch of fanatics online. When you have evidence that someone did something, they reject it because not because they can actually prove the evidence has been doctored or fake, but they love the person so much that they refuse to accept reality. Um, it's just really sad. Anyways, I'm gonna probably put up something edited tomorrow. If not tomorrow, then on Wednesday, and that'll be the rest of the stuff will be just uploads between the today and then on Saturday. So thanks for showing up and have a good day.